Metal Summoners, thank you so much as always for joining us and tuning in on another bitchin' episode of the Metal Summit. As always, you are here with your island of misfit toys of Bobby Dreyer, of Angel Alamo, and of the real Psycho Steve. We will be joined very, very shortly by Stet Howland. Don't you worry about that. He will be on very, very shortly. And we're going to have a really good time talking to him because we have a lot to cover with you guys today. But while he's getting everything queued up and getting everything ready to go, we figured we'd just kind of start the show off with a little bit of a panel discussion on probably one of the bigger topics in music right now, which is this situation with artists pulling their music off of Spotify. And whether it's in protest or whether it's because they believe that artists aren't being paid very well. So, fans, we'd love for you guys to put some comments in about what your take is on the situation. But, Steve, why don't you speak up on this first? What do you think about this whole Spotify situation that really has always kind of been a thing, sort of got pushed into the limelight with Joe Rogan, but just in general, the situation with, like, Spotify versus artists?
Great timing. Howdy, you know.
And got Steve out of the hole.
Thank you.
Can you hear it, Stet?
Steve, for a while.
It's
Turn
still
the
broken
volume
up.
up.
I'm going to go to regular headphones.
No, we can hear you.
Fuck.
I think
we can hear you.
I think it's for us.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead, Steve.
All right. So, first of all, so I have respect for Joe Rogan. I am a fan of Joe, foremost, because he speaks the truth and from the heart and everything like that.
We're sounding good, Stet?
Can you hear us loud and proud, bro?
Yes.
All right. So
Finally.
So we can. All right. So we can stop talking about him, so he can hear us. Okay.
Nah, no worries.
God damn it.
Yeah, Steph, before we bring you in, we're just talking briefly about the big Spotify topic right now about kind of Spotify versus music artists.
And I just think Neil Young's a little whiny little bitch.
You're really not feeling that?
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I just, I understand. Look, artists are entitled to a lot more money than they're getting on all these streaming services. However, and they dumped the Kiss Room, bro. That's fucked up. You don't dump one of my favorite podcasts.
No.
As they dump us, I'm going to tell them to go bend over and shave. That's just how I feel,
Well, Steve, I got stretch marks for getting us on there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I hope they do a better job than you shaving.
Well, Bobby, what's your take on this situation?
Look, they fucked everybody. Streaming. And Stet could tell everybody. You've been in the game long enough. You're getting minute fractions of a penny on a play on anything, and unless you're Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber or fucking Kanye, you ain't gonna get shit. So it's like, stop bitching. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I have the whole thing. It's people going, oh, I gotta listen to albums. I'm like, fuck. What are you in this for? We ain't making any money anymore. None of us are.
Right.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Angel, why don't you go? Why don't you put in our closing thought on this topic?
I haven't really paid that much attention to it, just being honest.
Yeah.
But they should definitely pay the artists more than what they're willing to. If they can
They're not
give,
gonna.
if
You
no,
know,
if,
that's the whole
if
thing.
they can give $100 million
They got
contracts,
you
they
by
can
the
pay
balls,
artists.
and they're not gonna do
Right.
it. You know,
Right? If you can give $100 million contracts, you could pay the artist.
who we blame all this shit on is fucking the Napster dickheads who started all this shit.
I still hate that motherfucker. I never liked
But
them.
that's really where it all came from. As soon as streaming came out, we knew we were all fucked.
The funniest thing about you bringing that up, Bobby, is everybody got so pissed at Lars, and Lars turned out to be right on the money.
I know, right?
That's
And
it. Right
was
there.
like, really?
Yeah. I mean, look, I was in college back when that was a thing, and I remember the convenience of, like, you know, being able to get these songs and stuff, and wow, this is bitchin', this is really, really cool. I was hearing about the controversy, people suing and all that kind of stuff, and I really just started kind of scratching the surface on really playing music of my own at the time. But then as I continued on and as I matured and then cut my own teeth into music and stuff like that, it just became clear. I was like, you know, we didn't have to like it back then. We might have thought, you know, he's just making a whole lot of fuss over nothing. He's like, no, he was making a whole lot of fuss about something, and he ended up being 100% right. But anyway, we will circle back around this as well on all of our social medias and stuff like that. Fans chime in. We definitely want to hear everything you guys have to say on it. If you have an opinion when it comes to, like, artists versus Spotify, what's up with Joe or Neil, we would really love to hear from you guys. But we are going to bring it back around now to our guest of the hour.
Yes.
And we really, really appreciate you taking the time. As always, fans, keep in mind, put your comments right into the comments and your questions, because we do have segments for that if you are new to this show. But we would like to take this opportunity to welcome in drummer extraordinaire, Metal Church, Wasp, Belladonna. It's such a long list, so I'm going to cut it off at 3. But Sted Howland is with us. How are you, sir?
Very good. How you guys doing, man?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. First and foremost, oh yeah, we definitely can. You sound good for sure, man. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your time, and talk to us about what you've got going on right now.
Well, there's a lot of things happening. My most recent thing that's so cool is I've been recruited to be a counselor at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. I don't know how familiar you are.
Yeah, David Fishoff. Did you get fucked?
Now, I know I'm basically.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bad slip.
Yeah, I mean. Sorry, you guys are up when you're talking, but it sounded like you. But yeah, so I have this hot coming out after May or June, and we're getting ready to do some touring behind that and have some fun. Merch obviously is on the mend after losing Mike, so we're just all being real patient. It's real precious to us, and we're just, you know, time goes on, we're reforming back together, and we are going to continue to band. And you know, I'm a happy I'm a cancer survivor. Every day is good. I've been like 4 years in remission now, so I'm happy about that every day.
Yeah,
And,
rock on, brother.
Rock and roll is back, man. The world is back open, and I'm excited to be part of it again. I am not designed for lockdown.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. You do not do the things you're supposed to do in lockdown. You don't practice drums and get way better. You do weird shit, you know.
Absolutely.
But it's great to be.
For sure,
If I
definitely.
shut up, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, Stet. We definitely are having a little bit of connection issue still that we have to tinker with a little bit. You're a little bit choppy on our end. When we get you, you're definitely clear. There's a little bit of choppiness, and we will have Stet back in just one quick second. Sorry about that,
Like
fans.
watching gay porn on the subway.
No, shush your mouth there, BBC.
So were you getting getting the 6-inch or 12-inch? You said Subway. Why? They do have that at Subway.
I have my
The
BBC.
tuna is not real.
Yeah,
Just
what?
saying.
for
I
sure.
was really disappointed when I heard that.
What?
That their tuna is not real tuna,
Me too. That's all I eat from Subway.
right? I like their tuna. It was good.
Do you eat the 6-inch or 12-inch?
I'm a 12-incher dude.
Are you? Me
Yeah.
too.
Oh
Me-
God,
me
what
too.
It's clean. I know.
I like mine uncut though.
such an ego.
Sorry.
Oh, who would do that? Lorena Bobbitt would do that.
Dude, I met John Wayne Bobbitt at K-Rock.
You're sick.
It was cool.
But another thing that's also actually going on pretty cool right now, guys, is a lot of our mates are on their way, if they're not there right
Yes.
now, are going down to Miami and for the Monsters of Rock cruise with the Alice Cooper. So unfortunately, we weren't able to join the Monsters of Rock cruise, and we're getting stepped back right now. So a lot of love to all of our friends that are out at the Monsters of Rock cruise. Hey, Sted, how are you, bro? Can you hear us?
Stet, can you hear us loud and proud?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I keep breaking up.
No, it's okay.
That's
all right.
good.
No worries, man. Totally cool. Steve, why don't you jump in with the next segment with your question, and we'll keep testing the sound out and see how we do.
Okay. First of all, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to see you. And I want to thank your wife for facilitating this to happen. So thank you, Heidi. So I want to start off with the first time you and I met. I was hanging out with my friend Karen, and you were playing with Wasp. This is going back a while ago. You played at a little club in Allentown, Pennsylvania called Croc Rock or Crocodile Rock.
Crocodile Rock.
Okay, so I want to know, first of all, how did the whole Wasp thing come about? Because, Blackie now, it's just Blackie and a bunch of fill-in dudes. It's not even the original Wasp. Did you have to try out for the band, or
I remember.
because of your talent playing in other bands, people are like, hey, Blackie, hire this guy.
This gig was kind of, yeah. I did not have to try out for the band. I was hired as a studio drummer when Frankie Benelli's mom passed. He was a good halfway into the record, The Crimson Idol, and his mom passed during that time, and having my mom pass since, I totally understand. And he just didn't feel like playing, and he walked away. And at the time, I had been working with Chris and Pelletieri, and Chris had Mikey Davis, engineer producer, working with us, and he was also doing the Wasp record. I just happened to be roommates with Ken Hensley. I was renting him a room at my place in North Hollywood. It was hilarious, and I was recommended, and I walked in and I listened to the stuff Frankie was doing, and he said, "Do you think you can do that?" I go, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Awesome. Come on back with you." And I'm like, "Awesome." And I,
Sorry, fans. Sometimes this happens with internet. That's just kind of the way things go. So we'll get Stet back on in just a second. But that's the one thing we love about the service that we've been working with now is it gets our guests on much quicker, much easier when something like this happens.
Just like that.
That's important.
Just like that.
Important. There he is.
It's okay.
No
You're
worries,
here.
brother.
Sorry.
It's all good. Bokuna Matata.
I want.
Yes, Matt Porter said it right. The joy of going live.
Cool. You still with us, brother?
It's like he froze.
I gotta find another way to do this.
No worries, man. Take your time.
I'm trying to find a.
So if you're using your cell phone, turn off your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there you are.
All right.
Oh, I'm
Try
trying
that.
something. I'm
Just
trying
use it.
something to
Okay.
raise the mic level.
And then also try to turn off your Wi-Fi so you don't have to use the signal. And for that, just use your signal from your cell towers. That one might help as well.
Yeah, I raised this mic volume just a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, this is my first time doing this stuff.
All right.
You're good. You're doing good, bro.
Good idea. Let me go to that.
Because you get good cell service in your house, right? It's what Dave said.
Oh, I got a good question for Dave.
He takes insurance for special people like you two.
Oh, thank you.
Just letting you know.
Hey, Dave, was Steve screaming on the chair like, ah?
No, I couldn't scream because he had his hands in my mouth.
He had his hands where?
In my mouth, not my crotch. I know you were thinking that. Jealous much? What?
Put a ball gag in your mouth or what? I'm sorry.
He's like,
I got one.
I have one too.
I'm sure.
And a butt plug.
Okay,
and
hold on. I did get it. This is
and
a fun
Steely
interview.
Dan, I'm sure.
No,
Yes.
he made me rub his leg.
Really,
Steve.
I'm now never gonna think of Steely Dan ever again in the
feel
way
bad.
I used to.
Yes.
Thank you,
You know-
for fucking my brain up a little.
And
Damn.
it's about Steely Dan is slang for a dildo.
See, we're not just entertainment. We're educational here, people.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
We're a family show.
Where the evidence?
Oh yeah, right here, baby. Children's programming.
And Jack wanted to come back on.
No.
Could you just imagine that him telling my ex-wife, "Hey, Mom, guess what? Uncle Jay, Uncle Bobby, and Uncle Angel and Dad were talking about a dildo."
Uncle
just
Bobby
blame it on
taught
me.
me about a Steely Dan today. I've been educated.
Just blame it on
Google
me.
it. Google it.
I believe you. I just think it'd be pretty freaking rad to tell him that. You know?
Insane. Like, so yeah, see, fans, this is what you get when you get the Metal Summit, a completely unscripted show.
Facts.
Of course, it's unscripted. So Steve, was
anyway.
you under the anesthesia or was you?
Nah.
So anyway, let's put. So let me jump in, guys.
Wait,
Let's get some semblance of like talking points going real quick while we're waiting for Stet to get back on the show. Let's steer it back to Monsters of Rock Cruise. From what we know about Monsters of Rock Cruise, who are some of the bands that you guys would really like to see on it? And what's your thought about these touring concerts, like on a ship where fans, take a week plus and see multiple bands multiple times? Steve?
Okay, so one band I never saw, but I just started listening to them. You mentioned about Swedish bands, the band Wet.
Yes.
I love Wet. Oh my God.
I thought they're pretty solid. They're pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
And of course, you mentioned them before we jumped on. Hardcore Superstar, I was looking forward to, and we'll see if they come to the States. It's just so difficult because over there and getting visas and all that BS, they're on a boat in the middle of the ocean, so they don't really need a visa. So,
but it's more about the fact that they needed to fly. You need to get to the States first, regardless.
Right.
It's not so much about the end result. It's about the start of the journey.
Right.
It's that much trickier now because I think somebody in their crew got sick. Even if it's not full on, if there's just any possibility, it pretty much just puts a wrap on stuff.
Right. What's the other band? And Nerd Halen made an appearance on it, which is really cool, you know, because Hal texted me before he's like, yeah, you know, Summer and I are going to be on the boat with the band. I'm like, awesome. So I thought that'd be pretty cool because I want to see them. I'd never seen them, you know, live and stuff like that. So just the stuff we watch on YouTube and the stuff that he texts me video clips, and when they're in like rehearsal, he'll do like, you know, a video clip to show me.
Oh, for sure. Because there's also another band from Finland who I really love. They're a power metal band called Battle Beast, and they were supposed to be playing the States starting in like 2 weeks with Dragon Force, and they just dropped off the tour today.
Why?
Because of travel. The visas and stuff they couldn't get from Finland into the States, so Firewind took their place.
Gus's Firewind, huh?
Yeah, so people are going to get some Gus G in their life in place of Battle Beast. But Bobby, what do you think about like Monsters of Rock and cruising tours and who you'd like to see on something like that?
You know what it is? It's there's a lot of the B groups. You know, we don't need to go after the A groups. The A groups are always doing the festivals. Throw the B ones out. You know, throw the Black and Blues out. Throw the, you know, Heaven's Edge. Give me Britney. Give me, you know, this. Give me. I know Tufts on the tour, and it's like that's the things I want to see because I can go see the big guys at M3 or Key West or whatever, but give me the little guys.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Well, I mean, speaking of M3 for a split second, like this is also one of the M3s though that I really kind of dig. You're always going to get the back and forth on people liking the lineup versus not liking the lineup. But the fact of the matter is I just laugh at the responses every year because I'm always going to love the lineup because it's fucking M3. And I always have a good time. It's a giant family, you know, 80s metal barbecue. But I really am actually really digging on this for a couple of reasons. For like 3 specific reasons. One, personal, because they finally got Lizzie Borden on M3. So that just personally means something very important to me, as well as having Doro on there as well. Also, I really love the fact they kind of went outside the box and brought on a band like Blue Oyster Cult. I think that was very cool. I think that's very exciting. I've seen
the cool
Blue
thing
Oyster
about
Cult.
that, Jay, if you think about it, it is right when I graduated high school in '82. Heavy metal came out, and look, everybody knows. Don't Fear the Reaper, Godzilla, but you know the movie Heavy Metal. Yeah, what a fucking great soundtrack!
So good. You got like Sammy Hagar on there, and so many.
Journey, which put one of the biggest iconic hits out at the time, and then Cheap Trick, who had 2 hits on the album.
Yeah, and that's what I really dig about Blue Oyster Cult, and I'm excited for people who are familiar but unfamiliar because they're gonna literally see that Blue Oyster Cult isn't just Burning for You and Don't Fear the Reaper, because I've seen them live and I think they're fantastic. I think what Buck and the guys are doing is absolutely phenomenal. And another move I really dig from them, because I know getting international bands can be very, very tricky. But since day one, before they had a website or anything, and all they had was like lyric videos on YouTube, I've been into this all-female Switzerland band called Burning Witches.
Yes.
Yeah. I found them really early when they had like 2 songs out with their original singer. And so when I saw that Burning Witches was on the bill, I got crazy excited. So anybody who's into bands like the Iron Maidens but want a band like that that's originals, dude, Burning Witches is for you. Go and check them out because they are absolutely fantastic. But Angel, let's kick it up to you, brother. What do you think of like, you know, Monsters of Rock, M3, cruising tours?
I would like to see some of the bands like Kicking Valentina, Native Sons, Hammer Down Hard. Give those bands a chance because when these bands that are A-list retire, you're gonna need somebody to rock. You know, when I'm 50 and 60, I still want to listen to fucking rock music.
Oh, so next year.
Yeah. Hey, no.
Hey,
He's the second youngest, right? You're like what? You're 40, right?
I'm the youngest.
I'm
yeah.
25.
At the front door. Really?
you ain't 25. My underwear's 25.
I was gonna say, nigga, please. I'm 48 years old. I'm gonna be
I know
48
you're
in June. Come on now.
Am I like the old fart on the show?
Yes.
Yeah, but Bob, but
I'm
but
like Gunkle.
Bobby, yeah, but you're 57 going on like 16.
True.
You're pushing it there.
No, I'm not.
I was gonna say 18.
Every metal summoner is on my side with your sense of humor.
Well, the
You
director
know,
from Waynesville said
I'm
you
like-
was 35.
I'm like Peter Pan.
You're juvenile as fuck.
We're trying to
But
say
I will,
you're
but I
very
will say,
immature.
Angel, I love those bands. I definitely think you have a point, but I will say I feel like Monsters of Rock is where they benefit for that because you get those multiple opportunities that these bands will play. You get a band like Kickin' Valentina on Monsters of Rock, they're going to play 8 concerts over the span of that week. Like you're going to see a lot of fun when it comes to there because you got all these bands, but they play multiple times. I know that you see M3 is tricky when it comes to that because it really is a superstar driven hits concert. So I love the fact that M3 did think out the box with some bands, like Count 77 and
Doro
on the band.
Doro.
Well,
Doro.
even Doro, but you got to keep in mind. I mean, Doro goes back 35 years,
Right.
Wow.
as far as music goes. It's finally having Doro. As I really wish they were able to find a way to get Mike Tramp back. So hopefully that happens.
And he's on the boat.
He's on the boat, but he was going to be M3's VIP last year.
Right. And
Well,
that's so funny because
he was going to be 2020's VIP performer, and they weren't able to set him up for 2021, and then obviously he's not on 2022. So hopefully they'll be able to get Mike back on because I happen to love Mike.
Hey, Jay, can I throw this out real quick to you? And
Absolutely.
This is an offshoot.
Sure.
So a good friend of ours, and we love him to death, Mr. Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on with Bradley Entertainment?
Absolutely. So this is what I can tell you. So when it comes to BLE, everything is fine. We are currently working on securing venues and putting the new schedule together for Masquerade. The big thing right now is a venue. Masquerade is 100% going to happen. 100%. We have tickets already sold. Those tickets are 100% going to be valid. Our biggest thing is also making sure that the lineup that we had is secured for this one.
Yeah.
Because at the time, there were some potentials where we knew there may or may not be conflicts. Because as soon as we're able to lock in Masquerade, one of the bands that we had, for example, was Last in Line. That's Vivian's band. We still don't currently know what's going on with the Motley Tour because it doesn't look too good for this year because you just saw that like Poison just scheduled like a little mini tour with like Tom Kiefer, I think, and and I think LA Guns, I think it was. And Faster Pussycat has another tour that I think they're doing a little mini leg with Tom Kiefer as well.
And LA Guns.
The
real LA Guns. Just want to point that out there.
Well,
Real
Phil and Tracy's LA Guns.
Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, since they have settled that, you can't say LA Guns without it being Phil and Tracy because it has to be Riley's for the other one.
Right.
But so it's not yet official. I mean, I assume. Yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
texting them right now.
Yeah, Al. We're in contact with Stet, so we're just trying to figure out what's up with the internet connection. So right now we're just kind of talking about the current state of rock and having a little round table. But no, absolutely, everybody's more than welcome to speak up. We're definitely on top of that.
So I got to throw this one out right now. Angel, this is to you. Dude, how was the weekend? because we know Lisa's watching. And if anybody doesn't know, congrats to the two of them. Angel, we love you to death. Lisa, we love you. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Angel, take a shot because, dude, buckle up, buddy.
He's
Everyone's
sitting
taking
on
a
a
shot.
donut because she hit him with the paddle too hard.
That is not true.
Okay.
And
I'm
Tony
sitting on a
even
regular
said,
chair.
He goes, damn. I showed Tony the picture. He's like, damn.
No, it's a regular chair. See,
It's a regular
That's not
chair.
a spanking chair.
That's hanging in the bedroom from the ceiling.
Right.
there you go.
Oh, can I talk about something after we're done talking about Angel and Lisa?
No,
Why don't you just take it over now?
Okay. So who has watched Hulu's Pam and Tommy?
Not yet. I don't have
No,
any of those streaming
yeah.
services.
I
Okay. So let me just tell you,
recent watch.
I've watched it.
Uh-oh.
The people that portrayed them, decent. The guy that portrays Tommy on this, I think, was much better than Machine Gun Kelly.
I
Give me
personally
shit
really
in
like.
fucking Firefly. because didn't
I
know who
liked
he was.
Machine Gun Kelly's portrayal.
Well, but I'm just saying, this guy, like, he's, I guess it's more his mannerisms and the way he talked. He's like, what, dude? You know, because that's how Tommy talks and whatever. You know.
Okay, that's fair. But in Machine Gun Kelly's defense, he was portraying Tommy Lee from back in his teen years, and I think that's
Right.
I thought he did a good job both visually and mannerisms wise. But
Right.
now that they got a guy that has to portray that much more obviously public figure, Tommy Lee of the '90s, so
Right.
that's cool.
Right. And just prepare yourself. They do show his baby's arm holding an apple a lot. So just saying.
Okay.
Hey, look, I was so glad we got to ask, Karabi about, his man unit.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that Hulu would put something like that on.
Hey, Angel, real quick, back to you. Lisa said we had a lot of fun. Define fun.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're such a little yenta.
I'm the rock and roll freak of the show, so we know what that fun includes.
Well, if we
Paddles,
can't have our
whips,
guests on, we gotta
chains.
break our
Paddles, whips, chains.
whipped cream. I want to hear, I'm like,
That's what I forgot to use.
you were in Maryland.
One place. M3 is there.
M3 is there. Jay's there.
You was driving through there.
Yeah, I was there. I got.
Yeah. You just had to. It's like you always have to outdo me, Bobby. I go to Maryland. Here you go.
Yeah, but I went to the gay areas. I was with a former CIA agent who took me to the former Eagle of DC and was telling, I can't even go into that. But let's just say
Sounds
somebody
like the beginning of
who's
Pornhub.
in a band that sounds like the Joint Sisters, Doobie Brothers, who plays guitar, hangs on my side of the fence.
Are you
I'm just
writing a
saying.
porn or are you just saying what happened?
Skunk! Oh, sorry.
Really?
Because you was commissioned to
didn't know
write
that?
Wayne's World 3. Well, that's what the director
Nobody,
was hoping you would
oh,
do.
come on. He loves the baloney pony as much as I do.
Really? So when I think of the Doobie Brothers, also I'm going to date myself. Do you guys remember the
You're
TV
gonna
show
date
What's
yourself?
Happening?
Yes,
The
that's
what?
what it is.
The show What's Happening?
Oh yeah.
You know, which Doobie are you be?
The funniest comment I got to say right now, and Tony could fucking walk in here and say it. We were at NAMM, and I'm there with Earl Slick and Hudson and everything, and Mr. Doobie himself goes, "Oh, you like him young too?" Says it to Tony. I'm like, "What?"
I
So,
didn't know.
you know, taking it to this minute by minute, yeah, those songs get a whole new meaning now.
Oh yeah, a lot of songs have gotten a whole new meaning.
True story.
Oh,
And Steely
there-
Dan has a whole lot of new meaning to me. I'm still like,
I'm still
Come
the Def
on,
Leppard.
dude. I've been on this show for 2
Hey,
years.
anybody listens to Def Leppard Armageddon, it sounds like he's asking, "Are you getting head?" Are
I
you
can see
getting it? But then, yeah, thank you. Are you getting head? Are you really getting? Yeah.
yes.
For sure, absolutely.
Everybody, I apologize ahead of time. They are still having a little difficulty, so we keep you posted. He should be jumping on it shortly.
Cool, no problemo. Absolutely. So, Bobby, why don't you talk to us a little bit? Why don't you talk to us a little bit about like when you've got? We're keeping it on the topic of like in the area of M3 and Monsters of Rock, but where do you see rock going from here? Because
The great
these
thing
guys
is-
are continuing on. I mean, a lot of these guys
Well,
are just
but
going to rock until they drop. But
Here was the great thing about that, and I'm glad you brought it up. You know, we're very fortunate we have people like Alice, who's bringing younger people on. You know, even Whitesnake, who just took the bass player from, you know,
Adler.
Adler's band.
Yeah, Adler's band. And the cool thing is what we're seeing that Mariah, who we had on the show, Plush. This is where it's going. We're seeing the drive come back in. And look, everybody can bitch all they want about Greta Van Fleet, but if you don't have bands that are given a nod to, you know, the homage of Blackstone Cherry, the guys want to, you know, they love us, and I love those guys. Get another ass kicking band, you know, Nick Perry, and
Yeah.
just that. It's those who got to keep going back and going. This is what it is. I love that's wet. You guys brought them up. Look, there in Europe, we got a lot of big rousal of 80s metal that is out there that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
And thank God for Frontier Records and that are keeping it going and keeping it alive. And look, we just lost somebody last week who was the heartbeat of metal. And that was, you know, Mr. Z himself.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, you know, it's I'm glad there's a school of rock. I'm glad there are things like that are really pushing it. And as long as the older bands are embracing the younger artists, the tradition's going to carry on.
Yeah.
Or all we're going to have is fucking Kanye.
Well, it's tricky too because we've got so much back and forth too when it comes to like support versus personal feelings versus where they see music going. So because one of the things, for example, that's really tricky, you know who's got the #1 rock song in the country right now, like by a lot, is Falling in Reverse.
Really?
They put out a cancel culture song called Zombified.
Oh, yeah.
And it might be an unpopular opinion to some of our fans, but that shit's a fucking banger.
Here is a really good comment from Al, and I totally agree. Anyone who doesn't support up-and-coming artists is not looking to the future. And one of the things that Steve always says is support these bands. Go to their
God
venues.
bless you, Al. Absolutely.
Right? And kind of like sharing. Share their dates and buy the albums. Don't ask them for free stuff.
Right. There's like
no
when
guest
Jay
list.
and I emceed that show in Maryland, how many times did we mention, you know, about buying merch from the bands? Because how are they going to get point A to point B?
Right.
You know, none of them have much money.
Gas money, tolls, instruments.
Yes. Hotels.
Condoms. Right, hotels,
Everything.
condoms.
Food. Somebody
Food,
just
yeah.
put
Oh, yeah,
out a
forgot
whole
about
box set of cassettes. I don't know if it was Gilbert or whoever, but I was just like, that fucking rocks. I love, and I'm going, who has a cassette player right now? But
Yeah,
It's-
but that's the thing when it comes to like the scene and stuff like that. It's still a bunch of like younger guys, and so just kind of getting back onto that topic is like, yeah, the number one rock and metal song right now in the country is "Zombified" by Falling in Reverse.
That's
So
awesome.
I have a personal connection to that band, which is my buddy Max is the guitar player. My buddy Max Georgiev. So you know, regardless of what people's personal feelings might be to Ronnie, and I in my younger years had some of my own that I've since gotten over as I became more educated on the situation. But you still got to support these younger bands. There's a lot of these like younger bands that have really been grinding for a while. You've got bands that play larger venues like Falling in Reverse, like the Black Veil Brides, like Motionless in White. And then you've got some other like bands like Escape the Fate, which, using Baltimore as an example, play like a smaller venue like Baltimore Soundstage, or a semi-small venue like Fishhead Cantina, but still pack the place. And
Raven
they really,
Black.
what's up?
Raven Black.
Raven Black, absolutely.
yeah.
I
mean,
you know, I saw them. I went to Michigan, saw Raven Black play in Battle Creek back in December, and absolutely killed it with a bunch of just, you know, up and coming but really bitchin' bands. So shout out to Fate Destroyed and I got to pull it up because I am the worst person at.
Hey Jay, I got to throw this out too.
Yeah.
So you know, I do harem and I do with Matt and the Kiss Room, and I'm looking forward to this Friday with Mr. Angel Amos. Going to be a guest,
Yes.
and I got Martin Motney calling in because I'm doing it.
Awesome.
It's all about that bass, bitch. So
Nice.
I got Martin calling in, but the whole thing is, look. Matt Porter had a band on, and they've been traveling, like, you know, classic 78. Here are two guys who are doing songs in the vein of Kiss, how they would do them in 78. And amazing. Just, it's, if you guys have never checked something like this out, if you're not, you know, Paul Stanley even said, he goes, God, I wish I could sing like that again. These guys are doing original tunes in the sound of like Rock and Roll Over and, you know, fucking Love Gun.
So let me ask you something, Bobby. Straight up objectively, because I know how this question's going to sound, but I have to phrase it this way. Is there a place for that now? Is there a place for that kind of music going forward? Like new bands that sound like bands from 30, 40 years ago. Do you think there's going to be a continued place for that? Or do you think this band is going to have to change their sound in 10 years?
You know what was funny? Today I watched an interview with Taylor Hawkins, the drummer of the Foo Fighters. And when he was playing with Alanis, he goes, oh my God, when I listened to the first Foos album, you know how much of the Beach Boys influence I heard on that? And I'm going, that's so fucking cool. Everything is secular. Everything goes around. The great thing about, I'm a musician and I've been doing recording and everything. From Bach all the way back to when people take from everything. And it's that thing. It's that groove. You know, why is Aretha Franklin so prevalent today? And you hear it. And you hear it in this and that. Of course, it's I love bands that give homage. Look, there'll never be another Stones. There'll never be another Aerosmith. There'll never be another Zeppelin. There'll never be another Kiss. But thank God there's a Ghost. There's this. There's that are doing that because it's going, fuck. Jay, when we're dead, I want somebody going, yeah, that sounded cool.
No, that's true. I mean, you bring up Ghost, who's out with Volbeat, and Volbeat's like a heavier version of Social Distortion.
When I'm 80, I want to be able to take Viagra and still listen to a good rock album that is new.
Well,
I just want to take Viagra and hopefully I'll get hard.
For at least 4 hours.
Well, Steve, let me ask
if you have it for
Speaking
6
of
or
Steve,
8.
Look at Steve's Halo.
Yeah, no. Steve, let me get you in this. Like, you, like Bobby, really lived those bands when they were at their peaks. Do you think there's a place for young bands moving forward that sound 40 years old?
Yeah, because think about it. There's the Dirty Honey. There's the Greta Van Fleet.
Mhm.
You know,
Like,
Native
do you
you know?
think? Well, no, I'm still going to keep it with you, but using Greta as an example, they've gotten as good as they are because, like, for example, here they played Autobar for
Right.
$13 and sold it out.
Right.
6 months later, played Ram's Head for $35, sold it out. 6 months later, played Pier 6 Pavilion in Baltimore for $150 and sold it out.
Wow.
But
Awesome.
that band has also received a shit ton of backlash for their sound, and we've even had musicians on our show say they don't like the fact that these kids won't own the fact that they do sound like Zeppelin or won't credit their sound to Zeppelin. I don't personally think they have to own or credit anybody. You sound who you sound like.
Jay, have anybody on this show ever fucking Googled Vanilla Ice when he goes, yeah, my beat goes doom 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 doom, but Queen's
Everybody's
voice goes, doom, doom,
everybody's
doom,
seen
doom.
that.
Shut the fuck up. It's like, bitch, you know what you took. I'm like, stop. You know what you did, and you made a shitload of money. But my
True.
whole thing is, motherfucker, you did something that we didn't do. You know why everybody's pissed off? Because they didn't do it.
No, I get it, but hold on, Steve, come back. So go ahead and continue on. So you do
absolutely.
feel that they can continue on even with backlash they may or may not get?
Yeah, because guess what? I tell everybody this, and I'll say it till the day I die. Love me, hate me, you're still talking about me.
Look here.
That
It's
is
like
true.
Chick-fil-A. Look, I'm a fag. I will go there. I will eat a homo-hating chicken sandwich. Why? Because those cock-sucking, hating Jesus people make the best fucking chicken sandwich. But I do love Popeyes. But I will go there. I'm like going, oh, all right, you hate me. Oh, but I'm eating your sandwich.
Yeah, so I think the bands of today, there's some bands out there that are really good. Like, I've never seen Ghost, but we did talk about it. Ghost is freaking pretty solid, man, you know? Because they're new old school, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
You know, because they're a new band, but they have the old school vibe, just like Greta, just like Dirty Honey. And look what Wolfie's doing, man. His music's new, but, you know, it has an old school feel, like an old soul feel.
No, for
I
sure.
love it.
And I gotta
be his
And
dad.
I got to give credit to Tobias because he's got a vision for that band and the constantly changing frontman, the changing, appearance of the guitar players, the Nameless Ghouls, different tours. They've got different looking masks, different looking styles. I've seen footage of what they're doing now where they're wearing like these kind of gnarly gas mask looking masks for what they're doing now, which is cool. So I like Ghost. I think they're fantastic. I credit Tobias with his vision of that. It reminds me a lot of 80s Motley Crue, where they were not sound wise, but the fact that Motley was changing every single album. They started off with their punky chains, jeans, leather stuff on Too Fast, and then they're Mad Max characters and Shout at the Devils. Then they're glammy Nancy boys for Theater of Pain, and then they're bikers for girls, and then
Right.
they kind of landed into like their kind of longest standing niche was just like the dirty rockers for pretty much feel good up until present time and stuff like that.
Well,
So
Jay, another band that I really fell in love with over the last probably year and a half is Five Fingers Death Punch. Which
Okay.
to me really embraced everything from the 90s all the way up, which kind of took a little bit of the angst of a little bit of the anger and, embraced everything from Chili Peppers all the way. And I'm going, wow. I love that it was a band that was kind of a montage that took a little bit of this, that, and everything and threw it into one. And I kept going, all right, I get this. You got a little bit of the grunge. You got a lot of the 80s. You got a lot of the anger in there. You hear fucking Slayer. You hear everything from Dime to this and that. And I'm just going, and lyrics that are just fucking deep as hell too. And
Ivan had a great way of writing songs, but man, back at the albums that they did when Jason was in the band, like he just had that Dime just ooze, that just swag that came out of him both live and on stage and stuff like that, and
going on another thing too. Look, I just talked to Rami Jeffy, who's the keyboard player of the Foos. And between he and Pat Smear and just them, look, where Dave came from, and everybody can bitch or do whatever they say about Dave Grohl, but what a motherfucker. I just think what a great guy from the Virginia, DC area who came from nothing to being in a great band, doing his first album by himself, and where he is now. And, no regrets. And I think that's the greatest thing about it. I'm like going, look, I don't know where music's going to go. I love that there are people like Walt Lafty going from Silver Tide to doing Americana to this and that. It's all going to change. But, as long as we're open to that change, go for it. I don't want to be that shit like our grandparents when, I don't, well, my music, we don't, fuck that. Come on. We're all going to, look, we're all going to have that thing. There's never, look, I love Ted Nugent. Douchebag now, but I will never take away what the fuck he did. I love that Pat Benatar is doing what she's doing now and this and that. Look, a lot of music I listen to, not a fan of now, but I love that it was a part of my life. And the new music, I'll embrace it. Look, give it a shot. Great band from the area right now, and a young kid from Doylestown. The Black Keys just did their album. Anthony is in a band, Ceramic Animals. They're on the tour with the Black Keys. Anthony Marcion is with me. We're going to have him on the show. I'm going to get him on. Dude, that's where the future is. This is the new thing that's coming up. These are the bands that are happening.
You guys ever watch Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Always.
Okay, so
periodically.
they've had some bands on there, like just recently, like I've never heard of, and you forget I'm not that hip, but there is some bands that are coming out that have like a very old school sound. Like they just had a band. I'm gonna look it up, but that kind of reminded me of like David Byrne and like Crowded House kind of feel, like the very beginning stages of alternative.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. I was just like, wow, and they were entertaining. That's where I got turned on by The Weeknd. I know you guys can laugh and make fun of me.
I love The Weeknd. I'm really looking.
His voice.
We talked about
I love The Weeknd too.
Weekend.
Well, last weekend.
Last weekend. Angels last weekend. Yeah, this. But
it's more like
the
this.
Super Bowl this weekend. You got fucking Snoop on. How many white guys are going to be sitting there with their head blown off going, and how high is Snoop going to be?
No, for sure.
Should we make a poll? How many joints do you think Snoop smokes during the bowl? the D-O-double-G himself. I'm like, but that's the whole thing on that. Music is, you can either bitch about it or you can sit there and go, fuck, it's music. It's
So the name of this band, one of the bands that played was called Manskin.
Oh yeah, Mainskin. I saw them on like a European version of like America's Got Talent, and they do a fucking sick cover of like Somebody Told Me, that song from the Killers.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow,
Steve, I went to Green Day this year, the fucking band that opened up before everybody else.
You've been going on and on about the Interrupters ever since you saw them.
When they did Billie Eilish's fucking Bad Guy, I was like, motherfucker. Here you got a current tune and they're doing a ska version of Bad Guy, and I'm going, my nipples got hard.
Well, it's also interesting with a lot of these kind of bands, and also how like the new wave of people like get discovered and stuff like that. You know that Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch basically got his break because he was discovered by Alice Cooper when he was playing with Mandy Moore.
Right.
Yeah, he was in
Alice Cooper took his kid to see Mandy Moore and was like, damn, who's this like rocker guy that's like up there? He's got some swag, and that led to him playing with
Mandy
Alice
Moore from This Is Us.
Yeah,
he was in Hired Gun documentary as well.
Yeah, that was his documentary.
Yes.
But yeah, he got discovered basically by Alice Cooper because Jason also played on the Bullet Boys Sophie album, which a lot of people
played with Michael Jackson, didn't he?
Yep, he played a little bit with Michael Jackson as well. But yeah, Jason Hook was playing with just a straight up like bleach blonde pop singer that was big at the time that MTV was big. And
just recently played with Rihanna, freaking Nuno Betancourt.
Yeah, Nuno did.
Yeah,
He was a Bullet Boys.
But that's the coolest thing. These roads that go together, and everybody says, "Oh, it shouldn't." I'm going, stop. Look. I've been to enough Pink shows and everything, and Alicia living here in Doylestown. What a badass motherfucker. I mean, and she'll kick your ass more than, but there are things, sometimes we need to go out of our wheelhouse and go, all right, let me listen to this,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
how about this other band that I was talking about that sound Bleachers? The Bleachers, they're called. They have like a 80s kind of alternative vibe to me.
Oh, cool. Okay. Right on.
And they have a female bass player.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
No, and Al, I just saw your comment. No, for sure. I mean, you've got these new wave of fantastic young talent coming in. You mentioned Sam Bam Colton, who I met when he was even way younger than he is now, when he was playing with Gabby Ray. So I know Sam, and Sam's really good people. So I love the fact that you brought him up, Al. That's fantastic. Yeah, Carla, you talked about seeing Jeff when he was playing with the Bullet Boys. Yeah, because he recorded that. He recorded the Sophie album with him, and Jeff was playing guitar with the Bullet Boys before Tori from Enough's Enough took over for a little while, and then subsequently he was replaced by Nick.
Right.
So, hey Jay, we had the best conversation this year at Rockin' Pod, and I'm looking forward to it again next year. Chris, can hardly wait for you to give us a date.
This year.
Yes, 2022. But when we had Mark Goodman on, and we talked about a lot of things, and Mark, even listening to him now, just the MTV days, of the early days of when MTV, it wasn't just really one genre. You went from Michael Jackson to The Cure to fucking Crew to Madonna to everything intertwined. Yeah. Fucking Jackson bringing Eddie Van Halen and Steve Lukather in, and it was just the shit we had was like, wow, we had jazz, rock, pop, R&B. We were listening to Billy Ocean. We were, you name it, we were listening.
There was music television then. It's not it now.
No, yeah, but
I talked about it on my little spiel this morning.
Divided, but there's a lot of good, and if people go outside the box, there's a lot of good stuff out there that incorporate all this.
I mean, it's crazy when you just take Michael Jackson alone and just play with guitarists associated, even on a small scale, where you go from Eddie Van Halen to Steve Lukather to Jennifer Batten to fucking Slash, and then eventually to Orianthi. Like
it's amazing, and just even through that, and look, we did a great show right before New Year's with Phil X.
Yeah,
What a great show! Anybody want? Look, all I gotta say on that is we do smoke meat.
Yes.
Go back and watch the show.
and watch the show.
I mean, absolutely. Phil, right there, for a guy who really gave. I love hearing musicians who are fans, and it was God, and again, us doing this show for 2 years, we've had so many amazing artists. Everybody over every genre weaving in and out, and it's been an education, for me.
We should get a country artist on.
I think we had AJ, we had people in Nashville, Gibson. Got to give big shout out today to John Wolford at the Gibson Garage for watching our show and promoting. Thank you, John. Gibson is
Thank you.
Yes. Couple good things in the works right there. I got a call tomorrow, so we'll talk about it a little bit more. But
absolutely. So fans, just to let you guys
Gibson.
Absolutely. So fans, just to let you guys know real quick, we are going to reschedule with Stet. He does send his apologies, as does his wife Heidi. Sometimes these things just happen. It's not that big of a deal. We're always going to do our thing to make you guys, enjoy spending your evenings with us. So we're going to roll with our roundtable discussion for a little while longer, and we're going to wrap it. But for those of you that do stay with us, I will give you next week's episode before we wrap up, and then everybody else who didn't watch will get the regular guest announcement on Friday when we announce it as usual. But you guys, if you stay on with us, we'll get next week's episode in about 15 minutes before we call it. But right now, this is just this is cool. I love talking.
Jay, I really want everybody to throw this out. I know it's
No, go ahead, Bobby.
A pre-teaser. Our good friend, Mr. Steve here. So we're doing a 3-for-all coming up. So we can give we can, I would call it
real quick. We're definitely doing a double header coming up. We are teasing a triple header.
Yes. Well, we'll call it a D3, which would be
possible.
D3.
Steve, do we know if that's going to be a thing? Or are we still is the triple header a thing, or are we not sure yet?
Yeah,
it's a thing.
I will confirm it right now. So talk amongst yourselves. Let's talk about Rhode Island.
So the thing is, the potential triple header fans is in 2 weeks. So we can't give that one to you yet. But
I'm not going to give you the day. It will be a Monday to Wednesday, and you will get a bookend on that.
But if you've been paying
attention
if you've been paying attention to this episode, what I will say is a hint has been dropped to next week's guest already. Again, that will come out at the end of the episode for those
I think here's a good hint.
Might be able to figure it out.
Julie just said it was a dick tease.
Yeah,
I never tease with my pee-pee.
I do
never.
So, but yes, so in a little bit we will absolutely give you fans that stayed with us that we appreciate the understanding. You guys will get it, and then the regular guest announcement will happen on Friday, and then we got a big heavy hitter for you guys in 2 weeks. So we will definitely make it up for you. But no, let's
coming up.
But let's keep the goodies going. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got coming up. What do you guys have coming up when it comes to shows that you're looking forward to, shows you're definitely going to go to. Like, we've been talking a lot about new music. The next show that I'm currently going to is on Tuesday. I'm going to go out the night after the night after Valentine's Day, and I'm going to go and I'm going to catch this guy Youngblood, who's coming through Baltimore. People that aren't really familiar with him, when I've been kind of letting people know about him, the easiest way for me to compare him to somebody here in the States would basically be like Europe's equivalent, like England's equivalent to like what Machine Gun Kelly's doing right now. He's this kind of like pop, punk, rap, like little bit of electronic kind of all over the place, but he's also very, you know, what's the androgynous, you know, as far as I know, you know, he's straight, but he wears like dresses, skirts. He's very much himself, puts on an amazing stage show. From what I've heard, he's fantastic to his fans. That's always a big thing for me. So I want to check him out just for that. But the opening band is actually a band I've been into for years called Palo Royale that I really, really like a lot. With Sebastian Danzig on guitar. Remington is their singer, who was basically Andy Bierzak from the Black Veil Brides. He was Andy's singing voice in the Paradise City show and the movie American Satan. So Andy was acting, doing his thing. But anybody who saw American Satan or saw Paradise City, when Andy was singing for the band The Relentless, he was actually lip syncing to songs being sung by Remington of Palo Royale, because the director did not want the band to sound like the Black Veil Brides. So I'm going and checking out Youngblood and Palo Royale next week. So Steve, what do you have coming up?
I'm thinking about hitting up Dirty Honey.
Nice.
And Wolfgang's band.
Which one?
Yes, more than one?
No, which show are you going to?
Oh, I was like, wow. Starland.
Okay, because
And
I'll
then
be in Philly because everything got pushed on that.
Right. A couple other shows I was thinking potentially. There's a couple stand-up shows, like comedy. I was thinking maybe going to see Whitney Cummings.
Nice.
I was also thinking potentially going to see, what's her name? I can't think of her name. Chelsea Handler.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that she was still doing things. That's cool. I like her.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a big stand-up kind of guy. And then my friends are in a country duo, but they have a full band as well. They're called Williams Honor.
Nice.
They actually did direct support for Bon Jovi at Madison Square Garden a couple of years ago. When he picked from each town that he played, he would pick, you know, like, for example, I think, what's it called? Damien's old band. Sorry to dredge it up, Bobby. They did direct support for Bon Jovi in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
When Mach 22 opened up for Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So these guys, one of the singers, because it's a acoustic, like I said, a duo. It's a female and male singer. I've known the male singer for a while because he used to have a really, really amazing band that came out of New Jersey called Mr. Reality. And the harmonies were just like incredible.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Nice. You got a lot coming up.
Yeah. So, you know, and then also my oldest son, Jack, thinks my ex-wife's boring. So he got us a pair of tickets to go see Weird Al together.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I've never, you know, I've seen Weird Al once and everything. But the thing Jack's saying is, you know, Jack's like, Dad, Mom's really boring. We couldn't go see the University of Miami football game because it got canceled. So she got me tickets to another show, but I don't want to go with her. Can you please go with me? I'm like, what show? And he's like, Weird Al. I'm like, count me in.
Nice. That's awesome.
Carla,
I saw you. Carla, I saw your comment. That's awesome that you're checking out John 5. That's fantastic. Al, that's fucking awesome that you're going to the Vampire Ball to see Neon Coven. Ace Von Johnson's a very near and dear friend to me, so I love the fact that you're getting to see Ace, because I think that band from top to bottom is fantastic. with what they're doing with Burton in the band. I love just pretty much everything that they do. I think that's absolutely going to be a great show. So you definitely have me jealous on that one. I saw that Candy is seeing a Ghost tribute band along with Anvil up in Canada. So I think
I would love to see Anvil. I haven't seen them in years.
I haven't seen them ever, and I've always wanted to see them. So I think that sounds super duper cool. Angel, what do you have coming up, if anything, bud?
Just M3, but I'm wide open to checking out a lot of bands. I would love to see Hammer Down Hard because I've been listening to their music but haven't seen them live. I would love to see Kickin' Valentina again. I would love to see Foreigner because I've never seen them live before, and Get Hot Blooded after the show.
Nice. That'd be awesome. Bobby, what do you have coming up on for upcoming shows?
Andrew, you could always be a dirty white boy.
I'm a freaky one.
So the 23rd, which is our show, I'll be there, but I am going to be photographing Mr. Billy Idol and Journey that day. So I'll be doing our show live
Billy
from
Idol.
The Wells Fargo Center. The other person I'm working on right now, who's I got introduced by a guy, Eddie Trunk, but Aaron Jones, who has been blowing my fucking mind, this guitar player, singer, and I'm really trying to get him to come on the show. He's blowing up like a fucking beast. He's kind of reminds you of a lot of Lenny Kravitz with a little bit, I don't know, man. He just kicks your ass.
Nice.
Great guitar player. Dirty Honey and Wolfie, which got postponed. Looking forward to M3. Looking forward to a couple other things that are, hopefully happening. Fuck, I got crew tickets for 3 places, and I'll see what happens there.
Oh, I also have Kiss tickets. Duh.
Oh, that's true.
Where?
There's the Kiss tour. Yeah, the other thing that besides Youngblood next week for me is next to M3. The other thing that I'm really stoked about for anybody who's familiar with stuff that goes down in Maryland is we host a black metal festival every year called Maryland Death Fest. It's the biggest black metal festival in the entire country, and it's based out of Maryland. It's got some other shows that they do throughout the country. But they're all Maryland Death Fest is home base. It's huge, lots of bands coming in. My buddy Lisa's coming down from Chicago, so I'm really looking forward to getting to kick it with her and metal it up for a few days. So that's going to be awesome. But yeah, they do a bunch of other shows as well where they do like Quebec Death Fest, they do like California Death Fest, but they're always Maryland Death Fest presents these other things. So Maryland Death Fest is home base. So
I have a question for you. Do you need to borrow Angel's paddle?
I don't know. I don't think I could do that. I think I'm going to leave that for Angel and Lisa. I don't really have any particular plans for any particular fun when it comes to that necessarily. I just kind of want to throw up my horns and kind of cut loose a little bit.
God.
So I don't know.
Good wedding gift for Steve.
Hey, Jay, I want to throw this out real quick. Look, we've been all breaking our ass. We're getting ready to come on our 2-year anniversary. Yeah. And I just want to throw it out that now we are not just a show you can watch visually. You can take us in your car. Yes. While you're doing the nasty in the back seat, you can stick us on your podcast.
Is that so, Bobby? How can they do that?
Oh, they can hit us on any one of their podcast stations. They can go on to Amazon, Apple, Google. Just hit the Metal Summit and you got it. We're 65 episodes in right now. Every episode will be up soon. But you can take us where we can be in your back pocket. We can vibrate you wherever you want.
iHeartRadio app.
Yes, iHeart. We are on Spotify. I will make you Spotify.
Google Play.
And I will make you Google.
Google. We're on
We
Google.
can make you Google and Spotify
We can make
and
you Google.
drop your apples.
That's hilarious. But
Drop the soap in the
since
shower.
we talked a lot about cruises, I don't know yet if I'm going to be able to do next year's Monsters of Rock cruise because it's so far out. But I am probably going to end up on the 70,000 tons of metal cruise next year.
That'd be pretty cool.
I've been putting some real thought into that and talking with some friends who do that as well every single year. So that's something I'm really looking into as well. As I think I might make my cruise debut on the 70,000 tons of metal. While the Monsters of Rock cruise is definitely more my style, there's just something that's got me very curious about that particular festival. So I think I might wander my way onto that. So I think that would be super duper cool.
Steve, rub his belly and go Red Rocket, Red Rocket.
Oh, Bobby. On that note,
Thank you for watching.
Mute him. Anyway, fans,
What's a mute
we
button?
love you guys to death. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Do not worry about it. We
Sorry
will
for
100%
Bobby.
get set on for a future episode. So definitely don't worry about that. Make sure you're hitting us up on all of our socials. Like Bobby said, we're all over the podcast platforms
Yes,
now.
we are
But
there
again,
now. Thank
because
God.
we are
That is
live,
awesome.
because we are live, Facebook and YouTube, definitely make your mark on those pages. If you follow us on Facebook, make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube. Pump up our subscriptions on YouTube as well. If you prefer Facebook, that's awesome. But pump us up a little bit on YouTube. We would definitely love that. And make sure you follow all of the guys on their social media pages, whether it be their Instagrams or their Facebooks and their Twitters. We're also on TikTok, all that stuff. So the guest
Grindr.
announcements are all over social medias. And
Pornhub.
speaking of guest announcements, just for you guys, because everybody else doesn't get the announcement till Friday, but because you guys toughed it out and we really appreciate it. Speaking of Michael Jackson, Jennifer Batten will be on the show next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Don't you
wait,
have a little
before
something,
we
Bobby?
fucking leave, wait.
Oh, I know. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was segueing into.
Angel, this is a perfect time to mute him.
I can't.
And-
Really. I gotta see him Friday.
I know.
You got to get him to sign that shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we go.
and if you think she's a bad motherfucker, of course she is because she signed it. So this was the guitar she used on Michael Jackson's band.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
It was Jennifer's.
Yep.
So Jennifer will be here, which is going to be awesome.
So we just
And
announced it.
Kind of
over
looks
to
like
that.
Eddie's. What's Eddie's guitar called? The Wolfgang.
This is a Washburn she did, but it's got a Roland pickup in it, and Seymour did all the pickups for her.
Wait a minute.
So,
Roland, like is in Roland keyboards.
Yes. So it's because it has a synth built in, and Adam Reaver of FU-Tone did all the guitar work on here too.
That's
So
pretty
this
cool.
has got, oh yeah, look. Oh my God, what's it smell like? Tito.
Nice. But so you guys
Does
have that
Bobby?
looking forward to. So Bobby will definitely bust out some wood on our episode next week. We'll have some fun. Jennifer Batten from Michael Jackson's Bad album will be in the house with us. We're really super stoked about that. Fans, thank you guys so much. Hey, sometimes this happens, but it's rock and roll. It's not meant to be perfect. Official guest announcement on Friday to everybody who didn't watch. No worries there. We really appreciate you guys. We love you to death. Thank you for always tuning in. Hit up all the socials. Put us out all over the place. Whore Bobby out. And
Yes.
throw us a little bit of love as well. But Metal Summoners, thank you guys.
And
so much.
whore a slut.
On behalf of the Island of Misfit Toys, we really do appreciate Stet popping on with us. We will definitely get him again, but still, love to Stet, love to Heidi. Thank you guys so much for being involved with the show. But on behalf of Bobby, Psycho Steve, Angel Alamo, I'm Jay. Metal Summoners, we love you. We will see you guys next week. As always,
Yes.
you've been watching the Metal Summit.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the ring light. I have the freaking